Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Joe, can you hear me over there? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the mics. I hope everyone can hear me. These mics might be a little shy, you think it's the headphones? I think it's my headphones as well. All right, well, you know what? We're going to run the show anyway, and hopefully someone out there can hear us. All right, so hello again. Happy Monday, everyone. It is a little after 7 o'clock. You are tuned in to 98.3 FM, The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And, of course, I'm your host, contrary to popular belief. It's not Joe Janicki. All right, we come at you every single Monday night to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you miss any part of this episode, I'm on a quest to bring the industry best. And, of course, my returning guest, my bestest buddy over here. Oh, I just said bestest buddy. I usually reserve that for Tiffany. But I guess you're the new buddy. All right. Tiffany, there you go, is my new buddy over here, my new and best buddy. Here is Joe. I don't know what to call you, Joe. Here, test that mic, Joe. Say hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. These things are awful.
I can
hear you better like this without the headset. All right, so I'm gonna. There you go. You're even on camera, Joe. So fantastic. Joe, this is you're returning. This is part 3 of a 6-part series.
Yes. On
the customer experience, right? And I know it's really cool because this is one of those things that we stumbled upon, and we're talking, it's very near and dear to both of our hearts, right? It's very important because being business owners, we really try to go out of our way to make businesses happy, make these people comfortable. We want returning business. And it's really rough when you see another business just slacking at that, right? When they sit here and they go, the customer's always wrong, that type of attitude. So before we get started in today's bacon, the BACON, you all right there?
Yeah. Just wondering, is this thing on?
I don't know. Yeah,
4?
you should be on. It should be on, right?
All right, good. Yeah.
All the lights are saying everything's on.
Cool. All right.
So I got to just play with maybe the headphones a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Joe, what's your take today? We're going to be talking about the customer journey. The entire customer journey. So I'm going to hand it over to you and give me a little bit of take of what you're feeling, what's going through your head in the in the greater scope of it, and then we'll dig in a little deeper.
Right. I think today is just an opportunity for us to talk about. Oh, we had a little something there. Hurt myself. Okay, great. I think it's a good opportunity for us to talk about. We look at mapping the client journey, and this is a 2-part piece. I think we not only need to map it for ourselves, for our business, for our teams to understand, what that journey looks like. We also need to set the expectation for the client. So, I think we'll hit both of those points today. So,
all right.
Now it's really loud.
Is it really loud?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because mine is not loud at all. All right, which is the one that's you know what? Live with it. All right, we're gonna play with that. I turned up all the headsets. Mine still is kind of dead.
Okay.
But that's all right. I can hear you fine without the headset. So Joe, today we're gonna obviously dig in deeper to the entire journey. Last month we talked about the first step, which was the initial experience, right? The first experience. And so today we're going to dig into, just touch on that again, but also bring the entire journey and why it can't just stop at the first step.
Yeah.
Right. And so, of course, Joe, the reason this show is called Bacon Bits is because everything's a little bit better with bacon, right? All right. So
are you talking about the bacon for chewing?
I am not, sir. I am talking about the bacon for doing. All right. And so every month, every week, actually, we create the acronym BACON. And so today, based on the customer journey, this is what we're going to kind of do is our loose outline is the B is for building a strong first impression. The journey's got to start somewhere, right? So we can't, just like I said, we can't rely just on the first impression. We got to rely on the whole thing. When we're talking about the whole thing, it starts with the first impression. A is anticipating customers' needs. And I think it's really important because too many times I think business owners, what we do is we concentrate on what we want to see and what we want to succeed instead of being customer facing, customer focused. C is going to be customizing the journey. And I think with AI, which we talked about in previous series, and all the processes and the abilities, software that we have in front of us, we can really customize the journey, not just create a nice journey for everyone, but customize it to the individual. O is going to be optimizing every interaction. In other words, getting better and better at every one of those. And then one of your favorite words is nurturing relationships beyond the purchase. Okay, it goes well beyond that first purchase if you want to hold on to those customers long term. Okay, so Joe, let's just do a kind of a rebuild on what we did last month about the building that first impression and some of the tips you've got, because I like one of them, but I'm not even going to jump in. I'm going to let you repeat it. So I'm throwing it back to you. What are some of the strongest tips for building that first impression?
Yeah, and I think it's important for you to, I think we talked about either grabbing somebody that has never been to your business before, or maybe hiring somebody to come in and do this with you, or if you have the ability to step outside of yourself and walk in with fresh eyes, walk in like you've never seen your business before, and look at everything. Look at the rugs in front, how they lie. Look at the plants in front. Look at the windows, the desks, the corners. Like, are things clean? Are they neat? Are they tidy? Are they cluttered? Are they organized? Everything. Look at your team if you have a team. How did they present to you walking in with fresh eyes? So when we look at, thank you for that. When we look at the first impression, that is essentially like, what is the first thing that everybody sees when they walk into your business?
I like this a lot. And I like how you really drove home the idea of bring somebody who's never been to your business the first time, hire somebody to do it, or when you do it yourself, be really, really honest with yourself, and don't say, well, people assume that, or people will know that. Look at it as if it's the first time they've ever been there. When you start a business, let's say you take over a building, you clean the place, right? You get new carpets, you paint the walls, the furniture is pristine, right? Mm-hmm. And over time, a little crack, a little chipped paint, a little dirt on the floor, it starts to be like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll get to that. But 2 pieces of garbage next to the garbage can becomes 10 pieces of garbage, right?
Yeah.
A pop can in the front lawn suddenly becomes a pop can in a bag, and all kinds of stuff. And then suddenly the landscaping shot. And it's really easy for us to ignore the stuff and accept it and say, I'll get to that later. But remember, every customer, it might be the first and only time they'll ever see that place.
Right. And it's hard, I think, because you live inside the glass. There are things that you walk by every single day and you just don't see them.
Yeah.
Because it's just there. That's the way it's always been. That's the way, it's just, that's the way it is. Right.
Right.
And you just, I think you see this stuff every day. And like I said, you just live inside the glass.
And you accept it.
Yeah.
But you don't realize the impression that kind of stuff makes.
Right.
And it's more than just the way the store looks. It is also the way that the people greet people.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Because what ends up happening is it's kind of like, you talk and say, all right, everybody, hostess at a restaurant, make sure you big smile, attentive to the person who's walking in, talk to them. Even if you're distracted, stop what you're doing to greet that person. Right. And it's that little thing that you're thinking is not that big of a deal. If I spend a couple minutes not talking to the customer, if I'm talking to my friend who's the waitress there or something like that, just be a little distracted. If you've been doing it too long, that suddenly seems acceptable, but it's never acceptable in the customer's eyes.
No,
because I walk in and go, why am I being ignored?
Yeah. Am I not important to you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think I'm going to go back to what I said was, it was Mary Kay Ash, the person from Mary Kay Cosmetics, who used to train her people and say, imagine every single person you talk to had that sign around their neck that says, make me feel important.
Yeah.
And if you drive that home, that's such a simple analogy, right? It's such a simple thing to say, yeah, that just makes sense.
Yeah. And
when you see your employees not doing that, you have to ask them why. Why are they not doing that? It's those customers who are coming and spending money, buying the products, paying for services that pay the salaries.
It's because you hired those people that were just there for the paycheck.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Those are the people I don't let see customers. Those are in the back. Oh, look, we lost Joe. Okay. All right. So building a strong impression is really, really important. We understand that. And it's important to constantly keep re-looking at it because it's so easy to fall backwards in this. And I think it's got to be something that on a regular basis, this is so important. It's on a regular basis. we need to have the entire staff trained on that so that they should feel proud of the place they work at, and they should feel proud to smile and greet people. They should automatically want to pick something off the ground. They should automatically want to go, oh, there's a smudge here, let me wipe that off, even though that's not their job.
Right.
Okay. So I think we covered this kind of thing, the first impression, enough, especially with the last show. But I want to get into this, anticipating customers' needs. And Joe, if there's stuff that you're looking at, because I know you're writing, you put together a lot of notes.
Yeah, I'm always taking notes. I think even through this, I'm working on a book, as you know.
Yes.
But even through this, I'm always still learning and getting good information from you. So it's so if you see me writing, it's
no. I'm talking about, but I know you also bring some notes here too.
Yeah.
So if there's something here, I want to make sure that we get all of this, because just like you, I'm going to learn something from you all the time. That's why you're on the show. Okay. So this anticipating customers' needs. All right. How do you've got a team for you, right? And you work with them on a regular basis. How do you get them to understand and anticipate the needs of the customers in the work that they do?
It's a good question. And
it's a hell of a question. Because this is something, it's one of those things that is too easy for us to ignore.
It is.
Right.
But I think a lot of that comes with experience and training too, and understanding in our line of work, especially what could go wrong.
Yeah.
What has gone wrong in the past, being able to foresee that and proactively be, as we have our our model to be proactive and preemptive, right?
Yes,
we want to find it before it becomes an issue. And, just being down that road before that the client is about to go down helps us understand what they're going to see, and hopefully cut some of that stuff off before it becomes an issue for them.
Okay. So. I like this. I think, remember we talked once before about sales training, where you play the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
You train people on the worst case scenario. And that training is more for us to help us sell more. Okay. But I think we've got to do some additional training as business owners. And the way that I help my businesses, I got to help them understand how important it is to train people on with every interaction that I do, what are my customers or potential customers thinking, feeling, and what are they going to do with that information? Okay. And I think it's really important, because you ask this in every way. You walk into my shop. Let's say you pull up in front of my place. You see my sign. You see the overgrown tree in my front yard or something like that, right? What do they think of that? How does that make them feel? And what are they going to do with that information? Is it going to be like, oh, that's too bad, I should mention to them? Or are they going to go, I don't want to do business with these people? When they walk inside, is there a funny smell in the office?
Oh, yeah.
What do they think about that? How does that make them feel? And what are they going to do with that information? And I think it's really important for us to look at all those types of things. And it's just that, we're always tied with, we have an impression, and we think about something when we see that, like that's odd, or that's pretty. I really like that. We also feel things about that, right? And then with that information, we end up doing something, and it could be consciously or subconsciously. But you would rather they make conscious decisions, because you can talk to them about that, as opposed to, oh, I hate when I see that color, or I hate when I see that shrubbery overgrown. I hate when I see litter in the bushes that no one seems to take care of. I was here last week and that same pop can is there, that type of thing. Yeah. So I think it's really important to train people on this whole think, feel, and do of what are your customers going to do when they walk in? What are they going to do when they see you, the way you're dressed? What are they going to do when you're in front of them and you suddenly stop smiling? All kinds of stuff like that. Please add something to this, Joe. I'm looking.
No, I think you're 100% right. And you look at, like, people give me a hard time because we do role play. We role play quite a bit. And
a lot of people don't like role playing.
They don't. Yeah. But it is so beneficial. And if you look at, like, the one thing it does do is if you practice, when those things happen, there's no thinking involved.
Yes.
Right. It's just second nature. It's no different than the fire department. Like, how often do firemen train and practice on
the same things over and over again?
Breaking into cars and putting out fires and all the other stuff, right? They do it because then when they are in the heat of it, there's no thought. It just instinct.
It's
happens,
natural,
right? Yeah. So it's no different than this, right? And we practice our phone calls, our scenarios, our things that could go wrong. Just train to become the best at what you're doing, and and be able to deliver that to your clients.
Yeah,
So.
I think you're right. And so what are some of the things that, Joe, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you push your people into training to improve the customer experience, that part of the journey? How do you get them so that they're anticipating the needs? We're
Sure.
still on that A.
Yeah.
How do you get them to anticipate the needs of someone more than just sales?
Yeah.
In other words, I'm anticipating this so I can sell them this. More than that. What are their needs that I'm anticipating that I can make them feel that they're in the right place?
Right. And it is, so it is more than that.
Yeah.
And we talk about in our meeting, and actually we just had our morning meeting today, and this came up again. We want to know, first of all, we have to understand the client journey, right?
Yep.
We have to understand, and when we talk about mapping the client journey, I want to know, if I'm a customer and I walk through this whole experience, like, what are the touch points that I have throughout the entire experience?
Sure.
Right?
Good. Yeah.
And are there too many touch points? Are the touch points handled correctly? And we're living in a day and age where we are straddling the line of convenience,
right,
and high touch client experience, right?
Yeah.
The personalized touch. And I think we have to like balance that as best we can, because you are going to find the clients that I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on the phone with you. I want to do a bunch of stuff on my own.
Yeah.
And then there's the other client that wants to feel like they are the most important person to you, the most important thing that you have to do right now. And they want to have that conversation. And, and finding that balance of how do we offer that to our clients, meet them where they want to be met, make that process of, if my client wants to be met on a self-service basis, how do I make it as simple as possible for them to transact business that way? If somebody wants to talk to me on the phone, how do I make that as efficient as possible for them to have that conversation with me and deliver to them the way that they want our service to be delivered, while not changing our process to where we can't control what we're doing and deliver on a quality scale.
Now, I love it. I mean, I think you can't say it more succinctly than what you're saying, right? And I bet you some people are like, wow, that was a long rant. But I think you hit on so many great key points there that we have to train our salespeople, our customer service agents, anyone who talks and greets the customers, whoever it is, whether it's on the phone, via email, whether it's in your facility when people come in, all those people, that they also have to be able to be adept into understanding somebody by talking with them. This is a person who wants to be left alone. This is a person who wants to chat. Then we have to create this process that we need to make sure that our people do know how to do that, that they're not too talkative with the people who want to be left alone, or they're leaving alone the people who want to talk. And we have to give them the freedom to do that talking when you're like, why aren't you on to the next customer? Because this customer needs a little more time, right? And that's really tough when we live in a world where there's still a lot of micromanaging, right? And you've got management and leaders who are doing this whole thing of saying, these are the rules. This is what you say all the time. You follow the script, nothing more, nothing less. And we are so far past that now.
Yeah.
Right? We have to customize.
Yeah. And we do. So we train on the script, and we train hard on the script. Everything from the way we answer the phone to the way we deliver that intro, everything, we train on it. But then I expect in our meetings, I want the team to come to me and tell me when they've experienced a pain point, or when they've identified a pain point for a client. Hey, there's something wrong here. This is not working this way, and I think we should do it this way. And we talk about it. We have those conversations, and if there's something we need to improve, we improve it. Right. We also want to get together and highlight the moments that we delighted a customer, that we wowed somebody, or that we were wowed, right? It might happen elsewhere. I might be out and about somewhere and have just an experience that I'm like, I want to share that at the meeting. Why? Because it brings that energy and that excitement about, wow, we can do this too, right? We can deliver that. But the team, I want them to come to me and say, hey, you know what? We were working with Marty, and this was a little bit cluttered and congested in this process. And I think if we made this little tweak, we could do this better.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's make it better. And let's continue to iterate and improve and get better every single day. Right.
So I read a short article, and I got to find it again. I want to dig into it deeper, and I want to send it to you. but they did a comparison, and you're going to love this and you're going to hate it, Joe. They did a comparison with human operators on the phone and now these advanced AI operators.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what's happening is they're adding empathy to the conversation, and the scores of people feeling more satisfied now, they've been talking to AI, and the satisfaction has dropped down talking to humans, because humans have emotions too. And as much as I want to be empathetic with your problems, sometimes I might go, I got problems too. Okay. Or I'm having a rough day. Jeez, you're complaining about that.
Right.
AI doesn't care what you're complaining about. It's going to go, I sense, based on what the words and the way you're saying it, you need empathy. I'm going to give you empathy. And because it's electronic, if that person needs 45 minutes, it'll talk 45 minutes. If it needs 30 seconds, it'll do 30 seconds. That's the thing that's so hard for humans to learn. It's a tough thing to train people to be able to people.
Yes.
It's one thing, I look at this and I say to when I'm telling people, when you're hiring people, there are the hard skills and the soft skills. We always talk about this, and you have to they have to not only have the hard skills and the soft skills, but they also have to have your company's same values. Right. They have to agree with the culture. So there's so much more for them to work. And you sit here going, it seems like it's all the time. We're adding more and more. My people need to do this. They need to have these hard skills, these soft skills. They have to have these same values. They have to understand and want to work with this culture. And after a while, then they go, yeah, and I'm quitting. I'm going somewhere else.
The hard skills are easy.
Yeah, right. And it
is the soft skills that become the most challenging piece of that puzzle.
Yeah. But I also think, and so you've got to find people who also fit your culture. We talk about this all the time, your culture and your core values, right? Because you might get people who are really empathetic and you're like, I like empathy, but you're going overboard, right? You don't have to break into tears with every conversation.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to do a shout out for somebody. Okay. Piper from your office. Okay. Yes. So I just bought a new vehicle. I'm really happy with it. And so first thing I did was I sent her a note saying, hey, Piper, I bought this new vehicle. Here's the type, blah, 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 blah. And it was so cool because her response was, yay, that's so exciting, right? And I could picture her saying that. And it's really cool because is it exciting for her? Really? No, probably not that exciting.
Well, that's the way she meant it. It was yay, exciting.
Yeah.
Right? I'll add it for you.
Oh my God, why are you bothering me? Right? No. I mean, because Piper she made me feel really good. And that came from a deeper place. That's something you can't train someone on. That's got to come from their heart. And it was really cool because, you buy a new vehicle and you want everyone to go, yay, that's exciting, right? And so when you say, look at my new vehicle, people go, yeah, that's red. Then you're like, come on, say something nice. Okay. So it was really cool just to get that response. And that's another reason.
I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me that feedback.
Oh my God. She's amazing. She's always like that.
That's cool.
Okay. But that's the type of thing that you need from all of your people in your business, right? Not just your business, but every business. I want to walk in and I want to see people who are excited to see me, even if I'm buying just a cup of coffee. I want people to go, oh my God, hey, we got some different flavors. Are you a black coffee guy or do you a latte? What do you like? Right? I want every interaction to be an adventure. I want some excitement, right? So that
energy.
Right. Yeah.
You want the energy.
And enthusiasm, right? Because I want to go back. I want a reason to go back. And we've talked about that.
What are the 3 E's? Enthusiasm, energy, and empathy.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
If not, we'll use them. That's our 3
There you go.
now.
That's it. That's the 3. That's right. Well, it's bacon-y, right?
No, these are E's, not B's.
All right. Sorry. I'm just stuck on the bacon. But, we talked about this with restaurants, is that the food can be average if the adventure, the journey I spent at your place, if it was overboard.
Yeah.
When you flip it around and you're like, this is a lousy place to go to, that food has to be so good. It has to be so over the top that I'm going to go, in spite of the way I'm treated, okay, I'm still going to go back. So it's so much easier for us, no matter what we do, no matter what we sell, someone else is selling something similar to us. So no matter what we do, it's so much easier for us to build that customer experience, that customer journey. So people get excited about it and they talk about it. How many people am I going to tell about that Piper said yay to me? Not many, but I'm at least going to share it with you because I wanted to.
No. I need a video posted online. I need it shared on social. Everywhere
I'm going to do the video of me reading it. She said yay.
That needs to get out there. And if you could just leave us a Google review, that would be fantastic too.
All right, I'll work on all of that.
It's very personal.
Okay.
It's meaningful. That's how we grade her.
Yes.
So if she doesn't get a Google review, we just, she's on the verge of unemployment.
So everyone who's listening to the show, Brightway, it's in Lake Zurich, Brightway, the Janicki agency, right? You're going to go to Google, right, and give Piper 5 stars and write something amazing.
That would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It means the world to her.
Exactly.
It means the world to us. But it means a lot to me because she is outstanding, and she is. I've seen her grow so much in the last couple of years, and she's probably one of our best agents. And,
you almost said best.
She's a rock star. Like she knows her stuff. And you're gonna laugh at this. So I own the agency.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. But when I have an insurance question, I call Piper.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she, her knowledge and her learning and her development that she's done over the last several years is extensive, and there are underwriting questions that I have that I don't know the answer to, and she does. There's coverage questions that I don't know the answer to, and she does. So
that's neat.
When I run into some insurance stuff, I'm like, how do I don't know what this is, or how do I answer this, or what? I'll go to Piper and ask her, and there's a good chance she knows it.
And I'll say here, I'm gonna take it a step up. That here's another thing that she was good at with this thing of me buying a new vehicle, this anticipating customers' needs. I told her, I'm gonna probably get some decals with my company name on the side, and then she talked to me about insurance that covers the decals, right?
Interesting.
And she just said, this is something you just might want to think about. Not that hopefully you never get in an accident, but if you do, this is something then that's all taken care of, right? And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. She's never salesy, right?
No.
She's never like, and you should buy, oh my God, you got to buy this. You got to buy this. No, she was just like, I want to give you some information. This is something else to think about. And it's really cool because you're right. She comes across sometimes unassuming. Right. And then you talk to her and you're like, oh, she's my go-to. That's why I don't even bother you anymore, Joe. I called her. I called her direct.
Thanks. Cause I'd call her anyway.
Yeah, so, exactly. Marty's on the phone. Yeah. All right. But so this anticipating customer needs is so important. It's beyond what I can sell the person. It's not like what's the additional thing. What's the if they're buying cereal, let's sell them milk. It's beyond that. It's what is the needs? What do they need from our store? What do they need from my company? A lot of people need empathy. Some people need laughter. Some people need the excitement. You have to find out what your customers need, and you got to deliver that 100% every day.
Proactive problem solving.
There you go. Oh, look at you. You're just loaded with cool phrases.
With bacon.
With bacon. All right. So, Joe, we're going to take a momentary pause here. Okay. You don't mind? Don't give me that deer in the headlights look. We're going to take a momentary
we don't
pause.
have time for pauses?
Yeah, we have pauses. Lots of pauses, like giant grizzly bears. Lots of pauses. And we're just going to mention a couple things from some of the other shows on this station, but we will be right back.
Since come.
And you are back, or we are back. Thank you very much for staying tuned in to 983thelife.com if you're listening to that, or 98.3 FM. We're talking about the customer experience, and I have my good friend Joe Janicki here. So, Joe, so far we've been talking about the bacon. Today is B is building strong first impressions. A is anticipating customers' needs, and this whole thing now is C, customizing the journey. Okay, this idea of we live in a very tech savvy world. I mean, there are so many opportunities. Forget even before you get to AI, there's so many other processes put in place, software that helps us, but AI has leapfrogged us to something amazing that we can actually customize. No matter how big or small your company is, you have the opportunity to customize the journey person to person to person.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're going into a coffee shop, right? And you can customize the coffee you want. They'll put your name on the cup, etc. You can do so much more. You can, you'll like that same thing at the coffee shop. You call ahead, you order your thing. They know the type of person you are, and they know, well, if this person normally orders this, there's a good chance they're going to want this, etc. But we can take that same type of model now and put it into almost anywhere.
You can.
So Joe, what do you guys do, or how do you, or what have you seen of other places, whether it's yourself or other places that you've said, wow, they do a really good job customizing the experience for their individual customers?
Yeah, and I think we do a good job of this.
Yes.
And the first step of that is really, we talked about early on, is identifying all the touch points in your business.
Yeah.
And I mapped it out, and we sat and we whiteboarded this whole thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And we looked at, okay, because you're going to find when you whiteboard and you see it, I'm a visual guy.
Yeah.
So the first thing I started noticing was redundancy. Why do we do that twice? How do we eliminate that step, or how do we make this one? And what I'm looking to do is streamline it so that it's as quick as possible, professional as possible. And yes, we can tailor it to where we're personalized to each person. So individually,
right.
We have the ability to adapt and blend. For example, if you did call my office and you are a tech savvy person and you don't have a lot of time to waste on the phone, you prefer to just fill out a web form really quick.
Right.
Or we have a tool that we can just have you log in with your current logins and pull the data over. You don't have to do anything. So there's all kinds of options that we can give, but identifying that with you quickly, understanding, how would you like to proceed, Mr. Client? And maybe this isn't the best way for us to figure that out.
Right.
But this is the way we've mapped it right now. Is that you call in, you want an insurance quote. And I understand, hey, we can do this all over the phone. It'll take us about 12, 13 minutes, right? We've already timed that. Or I can send you a quick link and you can do this in your own time.
On your leisure.
Sure. What works better for you?
Right.
And so now we're kind of customizing towards what you have time for. And I know that it will take me no more than 13 minutes to get everything over the phone.
Okay.
So everything I need, I won't ever have to call you again to get any more information, right? That's all of it. So I lay that out there, and now we can tailor that. But I think knowing those touch points, knowing your specific client journey, training to that for your team, and then constantly reviewing to make sure, because as technology changes, as AI comes in, there's going to be things that you're going to want to change along the way. Right. I can tell you that when we started, we didn't have the ability to just send them a form and have them do it on their own. We took everything over the phone. And it was annoying, right? For some customers, not for us, but for some clients, they're like, oh, really? I have to have all that? Like, I have to have all my VIN numbers and all my driver's license numbers. I don't have that information. Right? And so to implement some of this technology is taking a lift off of that. But we still have clients that want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I personally like those clients over the phone, because we get to have those conversations. I'm like, wow, I love your basement. This is really cool. I'm looking at pictures online. This is fantastic. You build in that empathy. And now we're customizing to that client. So I think it's important, again, understand that journey. Okay.
Yep.
Map out the touch points, train on those touch points, set the expectation for the client. This is the other piece I think that we have to make sure we do, is that if you call me up and I'm going to take you on a journey, I'm going to tell you what that journey is going to look like. Right. Marty, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all this information in. Then my team is going to go do this, and we're going to do this and this and this. I'm going to give you a call back at this time, and we'll go over everything. And from that point, we'll take care of the rest. Whatever your journey is. Right. I'm going to set the expectation with you as a client. I'm going to tell you, hey, we're going to go on a walk. This is how the walk is going to look. And this is what we're going to do on this walk. And this is what we're going to see on the walk. Right. So come with me, let's walk, so that you're not expecting something completely different, or you're not running into things that, you're like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. Or why is this taking so long? Right. Here's what we're going to do, Marty. You and I are going to go on this journey together. Here's what the journey is going to look like. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it's important to not only have the journey mapped, but then to set the expectation and let the client know what the journey is going to look like. Yeah.
You know what? It's interesting. So here's kind of a jump into the future. Okay. Because as I'm listening to you, and I like this, because you're right. It's a simple move to move from, let's have a conversation over the phone, to fill out an online form. And very soon it's going to be, or would you rather talk to an AI agent? And the AI agent would talk to you like you're on the phone, and it would ask you the questions. So you don't even have to type things into a form. You'll answer. And then it'll say, I don't have that. Okay, we'll come back and we'll have this conversation later. Anything like that, just because, again, that AI agent has even more time, right? And never going to lose its patience.
Right.
Right. So you go through this. So earlier today, I was at a golf outing, right? And it's really hot out today. There was one point that they said the temperature, it was hot enough that it felt like 110. All right. And we're outside. Right. And so, yeah, it was very warm. So we stop, and they usually have a beverage cart who drives around. And we said, can we just have some water? And they're like, yeah, we have some water. And it was $10 for 2 waters. No, on the golf course, $10 for 2 waters, right?
You want to say in the air what golf course you were at?
No, I don't want to say. But it's a hot course, and you're out there where, granted, they have us stuck there. Yeah. I don't have access to water anywhere else, right? And it's just this type of thing of this anticipating our needs. Like, this is awful out. Yeah. We've got a Chamber of Commerce event. We've got a bunch of people here. Let's anticipate something, and let's create an environment where we can give them water, because I don't want people passing out on the golf course, right? So let's do that, an out of the box thing, right? Now I say, what if you took it a step further, right? We signed up for this well in advance, right? So what if the golf course said, we would like everybody's email, and we'll send them something and send you the information of the drinks we will have on the course, right? And is there anything else you would like, right? And suddenly, now you've got everybody goes, this is what I'd like, this is what I'd like, etc. I'm feeling like, wow, you're really catering to me. From their standpoint, they know how to stock, because everyone's asking for this particular beverage, right? Yeah. Whether it's beer, pop, Gatorade, whatever, everyone's asking for that. It helps us customize to the person, right? And it also helps them, because they can stock better, getting a better idea. It's not going to be 100%. They're not going to go, look, we have that exact, I'm not going to say I need 2 waters and 1 Gatorade, right? But it'll give them an idea of what to get, right? And now imagine if the beverage person pulled up to us and said, hey, I know I can see your foursome here. When would you like to see me again? And what hole? Okay, just that. Great. Yeah. That would be amazing, right? And then what do you guys want? I will make sure I have that in the coolers for you. Yeah. Okay. Just that type of thing. We would have been bragging about this place. Yeah. Instead, what happens is, if everything is just average, then we talk about the negative. And the negative here was $10 for 2 bottles of water. Yep. Right. And I got a text from my buddy Derek Hartman, who is an avid golfer. And he put in here that $10 for 2 waters is actually not out of the realm these days. Unfortunately, he said, even at some not so nice places. Yeah. So water is one of my pet peeves. Yeah. It is. So I stayed in hotels for 5 years. Okay. I worked on the road. I was in, 2 to 3 hotels a week. Okay. Right? And I did this for 5 years. I traveled. And I can tell you that I've stayed in both Hilton properties and Marriott properties. Okay. I carried diamond status with Hilton. I carried titanium with Marriott. Yeah. And there were differences in every time I walked into a Hilton. Yeah. They would hand you 2 waters. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Full size bottle of water. But if I stayed at a Marriott, I had to ask. And if they gave me one, it was this little tiny one, half bottle. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so frustrating, because water is so cheap. Yeah. And it makes such a difference. That's so small of a gesture, right? To hand somebody a water. Even if you look at like the things that we do that cross cultures, right? Yep. Some cultures don't use the Mr. Jalove, or right. Some don't care about that. But offering somebody something like a beverage, crosses all cultures. It goes beyond like anything you can do, and it costs almost nothing. And you think about, one hotel set the bar. Yeah. 2 full bottles of water, and the other hotels like, nah, we're not going to do that. And if I go back, because I'm like, hey, can you grab some more water? Absolutely. Here you go. Yeah. They just want to give it away. Right. And I'm happy. Like, I can grab a water on my way out of to go to work, and I got a bottle of water to go. Like, it's so stupid and so simple and so easy. Yes. But it makes such a huge impression. And I played some golf outings. I played Paiute in Las Vegas. Yeah. And I remember, and it's different. It's Las Vegas, and it gets really hot. But even still, I played some out here. I think I played Dub's Dread, whatever that one is. But I remember the holes, they had just coolers of water at the holes at some of these golf outings. That's all you need. Right. And I'll pay for the liquor, pay for the alcohol, right? Yeah. But water is just one of those things that if you are not giving it away,
I don't care what business you're in.
Yep.
If you're not giving it away, you are missing the easiest, simplest thing that you can possibly do
Right.
in the world.
Yeah.
Costs you nothing
Right.
to do this. A case of water. I mean, go to Costco if you have to.
Right.
And
right.
leave the Kirkland label on it. I don't care.
Yeah.
What's the most it's going to cost you? 24 bottles you're going to get for what? Less than $4. Oh my God.
It's silly. You're absolutely right.
It's
Just
so
keep
stupid.
Keep it on ice.
Like,
keep it available.
What are you hoarding this stuff for?
Right.
Like, is that your profit center? Is that your main business? We sell bottles of water and we profit heavily from them. Well,
yes.
Good for you. Then you're missing the point in your regular business. Right. Yeah. Give it away.
I don't need
stop fighting over this.
Exactly. Just that little simple thing, and so like you're saying, when you go to a hotel or even to a restaurant that gives you something special, something out of the ordinary, a little something extra, that kind of thing, just you always remember it. Okay. Yeah. It's La Hacienda, the Mexican restaurant in Kildare.
Deer Park.
Yeah. All right. I love it because they always ask, does everyone want soup? And then you get the free cup of soup, chicken soup, right? And I'm like, yeah, I want it, right?
I can't feel the roof of my mouth for the rest of my meal. Yeah, sure. Bring it on.
Well, you got to put a little ice in there, but they don't give water. No. But it's that kind of stuff. Of those things are the things that make you remember the place. Yeah. Right. And when enough of your competition makes that the acceptable level, you have to live up to that. Yeah. You have to. You can't go, well, we don't do that. We do this other thing. You got to do that plus the other thing. Yep. Okay. And you're not talking about anything that's that expensive.
It's so stupid.
Right?
I don't care if you're selling shirts. If you have a clothing store, if you have, a record shop, there's still record shops.
Yeah, there's still a few.
Right. If you're at a hardware store and you walk in and it's like, hey, can I grab you a bottle of water? Like,
really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right there, you're leaps and bounds ahead of the game. It's so stupid and so simple.
Yeah.
Just offer them something to drink. Right. Home Depot used to have coffee by the door.
Yes.
For the pros. Right.
Right.
And I was there one morning the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys got the coffee back. And it was like 7 a.m, super early. Yeah. And she's like, I think that's from yesterday. And I'm like, let me go try it. Right. Yeah. Ice cold. I'm like, yeah, never mind. I'm out. Right. but I was excited when I saw it. Yeah. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, I hadn't gotten coffee yet. I'd gotten there early. I wanted to get, like, it's those little things, coffee, water, the simple stuff that costs you nothing. Just do it. Just give it to people. Yeah.
It also, here's another one that irritates me is when you go into a store and they say, and there's only a few left, the bathrooms are only for paying customers. Right. And you're like, really? So I just came in, you know what? How about I'll use the bathroom. I'm going to come out. I'm going to say thank you. Yeah. All right. And then maybe turn that into a sale if that's what you need, as opposed to, sorry, you have to buy something before I let you into the bathroom. Yeah. Right. But nowadays, when you look around, I was just in a bank the other day and there's no visible bathroom anywhere. And I just asked the guy, where's the men's room? And he was like, oh, I have to let you in. Lets me in the back, the whole bit, and say, here. And it was like, oh, that's cool. Because I just felt like, oh, you trust me. You are catering to me. It's just those little things, like you're saying, just the tiny things that we miss on because maybe I'm going to blame the bigwigs or the accounting department that says, we'll save a nickel if we don't do that. Yeah. And nobody listens to who's in the front line saying, but we're talking to the customers and this is really meaningful. This is a small gesture that means so much to them.
And businesses, if you're listening, train your frontline people. I don't care if it's bathrooms or broccoli. If somebody asks you where something is, do not point and say it's over there. Yeah. Say, follow me and walk them to whatever it is they're looking for.
Yeah. I like that. When I go to a hardware store and that happens, I'll tell you, it almost embarrasses me. Like, no, you don't have to go. You don't have to show me, just point. And I'll tell and what's nice about it is just that gesture means so much that then I'm feeling, wow, you've stopped everything you're doing just to help me.
Come on. You need them. Come on.
Right. And let me show you. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I think that's so important because it's as opposed to, I've been to plenty of places where they go, oh, that's aisle 732. Right. Good luck. And then versus here, come on, let me take, or if they don't know and they go, here, come on over here. Let me call this other guy. Pete, come on over here. And before you know, you got every employee working with you. And you're like, guys, it's okay. Yeah. I can find it on my own. Right. And so I like it when they put me in the position where I'm almost apologizing for inconveniencing them because it's something I'm not so used to.
Yeah, you're not used to it. But But if
Yeah.
that's how you do business, I mean, just think about
it makes
how you feel when you're there. I am important. Right.
Exactly.
Right. And now I'm drinking a bottle of water.
Yes.
Right. That this guy gave me when I walked into his store.
Right.
It's funny. We were I'm trying to remember, was it Cabo?
Okay.
There's a jewelry store, I think. It might have been Cabo. And they have couches in there. The women go in and shop, and then they give the guys beer.
Nice.
Yeah, just free beer. While the women are shopping, the guys can sit here and drink beer.
Think about how smart that is.
Yeah.
For that particular type of store, because the guys, if they're just sitting there, they're waiting.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get out of here.
No,
but if they're having beers, they're going to be there. Yeah. Take your time. Shop. Right.
Yeah.
So it's so smart. And then everybody, everyone walks out of that store important. They feel like they've accomplished something. Yeah. They got something out of it.
We're touching on topics for next month's show, by the way. So we should probably leave this alone. Let's keep moving.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this. I know that before it's only a 4-part series. So the O, after customizing the journey, the O is optimizing every interaction.
Mm-hmm. And
what that means is going to go back to the basics of once you start setting a system in there, you got to optimize it.
You do.
Because if you say, this is really cool that I can take this customer on a customized journey, that's really cool. But the problem sometimes then is, before you know it, you've got havoc all over the place. So you've got to say, this works. But how can we streamline this? How we can make it a little bit smoother?
Yeah. Well, the world is changing. The world is changing every single day.
Yep.
We utilize AI.
Yep.
And we utilize it for more things every single day, right? That world changes. It makes you faster, it makes you quicker, makes you more efficient.
Yep.
I think can make you better at serving your clients. We also use data sources.
Okay.
That we didn't always have access to. So now some of the things I would ask you on a phone call that would take 13 minutes or plus, right? There's data sources that backfill all that information. So I know how old your roof is. I know what style your house is. I know how many square feet and all the things that we used to have that conversation about. I can now pull from multiple data sources.
Yeah.
And that continues to grow and get better and get more advanced. And we're able to gather more and more information without having to bother you for it. Right. So if you're not iterating and you're not advancing and you're not always looking to get better, you're missing the point and you're going to get left behind. Right.
Yeah.
And I think about those businesses that you walk into in our industry, the file cabinet agencies, right?
Okay.
Like, what am I keeping in file cabinets? What do I have to look up? Like, what do I need that for? And,
right.
But they operate that way, and they operate in the Stone Age, and they operate with, like, I will tell you, we abandoned all of our desk phones. Just within the last couple months.
Oh, wow. Really?
So yeah, because everything's on a cell phone now.
Yeah, that's true.
We use an app called Ring Central, and so everybody's got AirPods, and everybody has access on their app and they use the phones. Like,
neat.
Why am I cluttering a desk with a desk phone that nobody wants to use?
Right.
The entire team hates this thing.
Yeah.
So we just got rid of them. And you have to look at the client journey the same way. Is throughout this whole journey, why am I going to inconvenience you for information that I've already got if I don't really need it? Then I can spend the time that I'm talking to you on things that matter. On getting to know you, on I don't know, we've been surrounded by these things. They keep flying
massive
by.
Birds, exactly.
But I can spend the time making meaningful conversation with you, and building a connection with you, and building rapport with you, and nurturing, and later on nurturing our relationship, instead of just mundane data collection. So,
gotcha.
So you have to constantly iterate. You have to constantly get better. You have to constantly look at, how do we make this process better for our clients?
Right. So how do we, I guess this is another thing in regular training with our employees, right? That you sit here and we train them on the processes we have in place. We have to train them on why these processes are in place so that they feel like they're important. You got to train them on the soft skills, the hard skills, the culture, the core values. You got to train them on thinking of the customer. You've got to also then start doing this whole thing of what is another thing that we could be or should be doing to making the customer experience better. Yes. And you keep asking that. So my gut says the more that we do that, the more we can get our employees engaged in our company even greater. Because we're giving them more opportunities to speak up and saying, if we did this, this would be better for our customers. If we did this, this would be great. More customers would return. If we did this, more customers would talk about us.
Yeah.
And I think that gets our employees more engaged with us. So I think that's just another pro in having these regular conversations. But how do you have these conversations? If we got so many different things to talk about with these people on a regular basis, that's beyond their day-to-day. This is what you're supposed to do. But these are all these other things that people are like, really, we have to do that? I have to care about the customer. How do we fit that in the schedule?
You have to celebrate those wins.
Okay.
And you have to make it commonplace to consistently celebrate the wins. They have to just be, that's part of your culture. That's something you just talk about regularly.
Okay.
We, on a weekly basis, want to celebrate Marty's wins for the week. Marty, what did you do to elevate somebody's experience today or this week, right? Or Marty, where did you have your experience elevated? But where were you out in the last week and somebody just wowed you, right? Or how, give me an example of in the last week of how you wowed somebody else. And it has to be something that you continuously talk about and you celebrate with a team, and it becomes just something they're looking forward to every single week. And we're looking forward to finding new ways to elevate that experience for a client, right? And finding new ways to deliver in ways that a client has never experienced before.
Beautiful.
How do I wow somebody?
So do you have those kind of meetings in front of everyone as a group? But do you also do those one-on-ones?
We do, but when we want to celebrate these wins, we do it together. Okay. And it's about building the mentality and the culture and the energy around that, right? We want to foster ideas. We want to foster that energy and that willingness and that want and the drive to do these things. And I think you can only do that if the whole team is excited about it. Right. So when you come together on your weekly basis, on your weekly meeting, it has to be part of that meeting. It has to be in the agenda to get excited and share those moments. Because the whole team gets excited about it.
I agree with you.
It just becomes part of what you do.
Right. Okay. So, we're minutes away from ending here. So we kind of talked about the optimizing every interaction. That's a tough word to say this late in the day. Nurturing relationships is kind of what we've been leaning into. I think all in all, this is really, when you think about this, that the bacon that we're talking about this week is that B is building a strong first impression. That sometimes that's where it really has to start. And I think we don't realize that, or many businesses don't realize, we're so focused on succeeding that we forget about that. And I think it starts strong like that. Build a first strong impression. Step out of your building, look at your building, talk to your people, et cetera. Anticipating customers' needs. It's always got to be through this constant communication with our people, right? And once we anticipate those needs and understand that every one of our customers is a little bit different, it's time for us to learn how to customize their journey. Okay. Customizing our journey. The first thing that any business is going to look at is going, that's kind of scary because that's going to take up a lot more time. That's when you get into that which is optimizing every interaction and realizing that our employees or our customers are so very important. They're vital to us, right? So that's where you nurture those relationships well beyond the purchase. Okay. I always said, I did this thing that I called the hey. Okay. Hey. So in other words, it was, who are these people? This is how you start, where you put your name out there in front of people. Who are these people? I want to, maybe I want to do business with these people. And you get that first interaction with them. You do such a good job that they say, hey, I love these guys. So it's that type of path, that hey, and that when they get to the hey, I love these guys, and we've over-delivered on our promises, made them feel more than they're a customer, they're part of our family. That is the only time that I feel comfortable asking for a referral. Okay. A lot of other people talk and go, hey, can you use my business? No, I can't. You know somebody who can? That's okay. But I would rather do something amazing for you, make you feel important, and then come back and get referrals from you.
And it's a perfect segue to next month's show,
which is what?
The human-centric approach.
Nice. Nice.
So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one.
I'm excited about that. So, and I'm going to make a quick announcement. You know, next week I have a very special show. Okay. It's going to be the generational perspective. Okay. I will have two people on the show. One person is an 84-year-old man, great mind, intelligent guy, lived the life. and the other guest is a 15-year-old girl who is not afraid to share her opinion.
Interesting.
So it's going to be, I'm forming some questions to put together, have them both come back and give both perspectives from 84 years old to 15 years old.
Oh, that's going to be
cool.
cool.
It'll be a very exciting
That's
show.
going to be cool.
So
We should bring my
tune
son in. He's 9 and he has a perspective already on what he thinks.
Yeah. I'm a little afraid of that show. Maybe we'll bring him in the next time you're here. All right. All right.
Excellent.
So, Joe, it looks like we are completely out of time here. Thank you so very much. Do you have any final words that you want to share with everyone?
You nailed it. I
All
think you nailed it. Just take a step back, understand your process, be constantly looking to improve it.
Yep.
Train on it so that everybody follows it, and keep delivering the best client experience possible.
I love it. Thank you so much. If you missed any part of the episode, tune in later in the week to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.